So a couple of videos ago, I started off with a 0 overall Darnell Richmond. He had a handful of career-ending injuries, but he was able to work his way back to being a 99 overall because every point he recorded was one attribute upgrade. Well, today we're going to be doing the exact same thing. However, we have an entire team here. Every player on this team is a 0 overall, and for every point that they record, that's going to be one attribute upgrade. Now, I shouldn't really say every point they record because goals are going to be worth 2 attribute upgrades, assists are going to be worth 1 attribute upgrade, and for every 4 shots, that's going to be 1 attribute upgrade. Now, that's going to apply to the forwards and the defensemen on this team. Of course, when it comes to goaltenders, there's going to be some different rules. For every 100 saves our goalie records, that's going to be 1 upgrade. For every win, that's going to be 3 attribute upgrades, and for every overtime loss, that's going to be 1 attribute upgrade. On top of that, since shutouts are going to be so difficult, for every shutout these guys record, that's going to be 10 attribute upgrades. So we have to turn all of these players right here into absolute legends in order for us to win a Stanley Cup. However, there is one more thing that I haven't mentioned. There is a minimum attribute upgrades that players can record each season. So every season, no matter what happens, these players are going to be getting 10 attribute upgrades. Now you might be wondering, well, why did I set a minimum for this video? Watch season number 1 and you will understand it all. Now here's why we had to set a minimum for attribute upgrades. Delaware is going to be finishing at the bottom of the league, an 0-82 record. We didn't score a goal this season. We allowed a lot of goals. Now, what stats did our players record here? Well, clearly they didn't pick up any goals. I wonder how many shots these guys took. None. They did not take a single shot. Nobody scored goals, assists, or even took shots here. So yeah, all of our forwards and defensemen are all going to receive 10 attribute upgrades just so they can do something on the ice. Now when it comes to our goaltenders, they actually probably received a decent amount because they made a handful of saves. Although they didn't get any wins or overtime losses, saves alone are going to be helping these guys a ton. So Eric Cartman, by making 1,948 saves, you're going to be receiving 19 attribute upgrades, and Ricky Lafleur, you're going to be receiving 17. But the Delaware Dragons are clearly a long ways away from competing here. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions. Let's go give these guys some upgrades. Now, when it comes to the forwards and defensemen on this team, I think the clear upgrade is offensive awareness. That's going to allow these guys to shoot the puck more, maybe pick up 1 or 2 points this season. I still doubt they're going to pick up any points. So yeah, let's go through every player and give them a plus 10 attribute boost to offensive awareness. Except when it comes to goaltenders, Eric Cartman's going to receive 19 upgrades. Ricky Lafleur is going to be receiving 17. I'm actually not too sure which attributes matter the most here. So yeah, I think we're just going to go with something like poise maybe. But poise is only really good once you get to the postseason, or at least that's what I think. Yeah, I have no clue what to go with here. So how about I just put 19 points to glove high and get that up to a 55? Is that going to make a massive difference? I have no clue. When it comes to Ricky Lafleur, that attribute's going to go up to a 53. So all of our forwards and defensemen got attribute boosts when it comes to their offensive awareness. Sassy, Mike Nolan, and Big Les are going to hold down the top line. Then we're going to have Alfred, also known as Paperboy, Ern, and Darius. They're going to hold down the second line. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, Linus, they got the third line. Yes, I just made the most absurd team in the world. Just completely ignore the names. We got Mordecai and Rigby, Trevor Corey Trevor, Kaz Kalinkas, Tom Mages. If you know, you know. That's a throwback for some of you. And then Ricky Lafleur, Eric Cartman. That's the goaltending. Everyone's better on this team, but nobody is good on this team. So yeah, it's going to be another rough season. So while we have another rough season and probably not even record a shot, if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 78k by the end of the month. And if you're still watching the content, well, you clearly enjoy it, so you might as well be subscribed. Alright, well, this was an interesting season to say the least. Delaware's not going to be picking up a single win. We didn't record a single goal. Nobody scored any points on this team, but did we have anyone record a shot? I really hope somebody took one shot. Okay, this video is going to take significantly longer than I expected because it takes me give or take 15 minutes to give every player here a plus 10 boost. We are going to be here for a hot minute. Ricky Lafleur, you're going to be receiving 20 attribute upgrades. Eric Cartman, you're going to be getting 18. Everyone else is only getting 10 though, so that kind of sucks. But here's the most absurd thing about this entire season. The Anaheim Ducks won the Stanley Cup. The 2025 Anaheim Ducks won the Stanley Cup, defeating the 2025 Philadelphia Flyers, who took down the 2025 Buffalo Sabres. We're looking at these conference finals, right? Buffalo and Philly, and then Anaheim and Winnipeg. Chicago also made the postseason. Yeah, let's pretend none of this happened. So all of our forwards and defensemen, once again, it's going to be plus 10 to offensive awareness. We'll get that up to a 56. I just need somebody to take a shot this season. One player needs to take a shot for me. And then when it comes to goaltending, we might as well just continue to work on glove high and get that to a reasonable overall. So we're going to be getting that up to a 73. So Ricky Lafleur's is going to be up to a 73, and then I believe Eric Cartman's also going to be up to a 73. So both of them are going to have a 73 in glove high. Alright, so we got season number 3 underway. We still have basically 0 overall players, except their offensive awareness attributes now at a 56. Somebody take a shot this season. If nobody records record shots, then everyone's getting a plus 20 upgrade, because we could be here for a very long time. If somebody does record a shot this season, we're sticking with the plus 10 upgrades. But yeah, I need somebody to do something, or this is going to be a very, very long video. So once again, the Delaware Dragons aren't going to be winning a game, and we also didn't score a goal this season. But the real question is, did anybody on this team record a shot? I'm kind of hoping for one shot. I can tell you right now, we did not record one shot this season. So yeah, everyone's getting 20 attribute upgrades. If not, this could take a long time. I might even up that to 30. We might do 20 to everybody's offensive awareness and 10 to everyone's defensive awareness. I think that's pretty fair. So everyone's getting 30 attribute upgrades, 20 to offensive awareness, 10 to defensive awareness. And then when it comes to goaltending, Ricky Lafleur, you're going to be getting 18 upgrades, while Eric Hartman, he's getting 20 attribute boosts. So goaltending is going to be getting a nice upgrade here, but it's not going to be good enough. The Colorado Avalanche, Stanley Cup champions, we're a long ways away from being a competitive team. So because we've gone 3 straight seasons without even recording a shot, offensive awareness that is now up to a 76. I need these players to start doing something. And while we're at it, defensive awareness, that's going up to a 46. These guys got to get some boosts here. They got to start producing. Now, when it comes to goaltending, we're about to max out an attribute here. Glove high is now going to be up to a 91, but that's for Ricky Lafleur. For Eric Hartman, it's going to be up to a 93, seeing as he made 200 more saves than Ricky last season. All right, so we went 3 seasons without scoring a goal, hence 30 upgrades for the players. Everyone's got a 76 offensive awareness rating, and everyone's got a 46 defensive awareness rating. Somebody score a goal for me this season. Actually, don't even worry about scoring a goal. Just record some shots this season. We got to start doing something. All right, new rule incoming. For every consecutive season we have without a player recording a goal, that's going to be an additional 10 upgrades. So we just completed season 4. Therefore, every player is going to be getting 40 upgrades here. Trevor Corey, technically you led the way here. Did anybody take a shot on this team? I think we went shotless again. Okay, because of that, every player is getting 40 upgrades, except for goaltenders, because goalies have actually been recording enough saves here. Ricky Lafleur, 1,700 saves, therefore that's 17 upgrades. Eric Hartman, 2,200 saves, therefore 22 upgrades for him. But yeah, I completely neglected the fact that these players would not be able to get shots on net because they're all 0 overalls. I thought by season number 4 we would see these players taking 3 or 4 shots. That is not the case. They haven't taken any yet, and we're 4 seasons in. Alright, so here's going to be the thought process here. For every player, we're maxing out their offensive awareness. So that's going to use 23 of their 40 upgrade points. With the remaining 17, if you're a playmaker, it goes to playmaking. So our man Charlie Brown, he's a playmaker, so we're upgrading his passing. So that means Chuck Brown's passing is going to go up to a 53. If you're a sniper or a power forward, we're upgrading one of your shooting attributes. It would probably be wrist shot power. Actually, I'm going to go with wrist shot accuracy, because it doesn't really matter what your wrist shot power is if you can't hit the net. So we'll focus on wrist shot accuracy for the snipers and power forwards. When it comes to Eric Hartman and Ricky Lafleur, Hartman's getting 22 upgrades, Ricky Lafleur is going to be getting 17. We're going to start off by maxing out Eric Hartman's glove high, so that's going to be 6 attribute upgrades right there. And then with the remaining 16, we'll put that on glove low, so his glove is going to be amazing. He's going to have a 52 glove low and then a 99 glove high. Now there's a lot of good news heading into this season. First piece of good news, everyone's offensive awareness is a 99, so I'm expecting somebody to take a shot this season. Good news number 2, forwards are actually playing forward minutes for us. So basically at the beginning of every season, when everyone was a 0 overall and nobody had any attributes, they just randomized the lineup. So I had forwards playing defense, defensemen playing forwards. No longer. Players whose position is actually forward are actually playing forward. Players who are defensemen are actually playing defensive minutes now. So I no longer have to go and craft all these lineups, because that was taking a lot of time. Like, I basically had to remove every player, because we would have 6 defensemen playing forward minutes, we would have 6 forwards playing defensive minutes. It was an absolute mess, but we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now we just have to worry about this team winning a game. Actually, what am I talking about, winning a game? I have to worry about this team taking 1 shot, because we haven't done that yet. Alright, I have officially accepted the fact that I severely underestimated how hard this would be. An 0-82 record. We still haven't scored a goal here. I don't think we took a single shot this season. Nope. Even with the maxed out offensive awareness, players passing attributes being better, and players shooting attributes being better, we still didn't take a single shot this season. So you know what that means? Everybody's getting 50 upgrade points, because we've gone 5 seasons without anybody recording a a point or a shot. Meanwhile, Ricky Lafleur, 1900 saves. Eric Hartman, 2100 saves. You know what? To keep this consistent, both of you guys are getting 50 upgrade points as well. I don't care if Ricky Lafleur should only get 19, Eric Hartman should only get 21. Everyone's getting 50 here. No, like, we're actually in the trenches. The Vancouver Canucks Stanley Cup champions, but we are really this many seasons in, and we haven't seen anybody take a shot yet. Yeah, we're down bad. Now, similar to the last time we gave players upgrades, we're going to keep this as simple as possible. For playmakers, we're using 46 upgrade points. That's going to max out their passing. So playmakers are now going to have 99 when it comes to passing. And I do want to point out, Chuck Brown, he's up to a 37 overall. And then with the remaining 4 upgrades, I guess we could just throw that on defensive awareness. So I'll get defensive awareness up to a 50, and that's going to get old Chuck Brown up to a 38 overall. So he's ready to play now. Now, when it comes to snipers like J-Rock, this is what we're going to be doing. 17 points to wrist shot accuracy. That gets that up to a 70. Once that's up to a 70, we're going to use the rest of the points on wrist shot power. That's going to get up to a 69. So now he's going to be able to pot some goals hopefully this season, or at least take one shot. Now, when it comes to goaltenders, they're going to be getting their upgrade points as well. 47 are going to be going to glove low, so that we're going to be able to max that out. With the other 3 upgrade points, I don't think it really matters. We'll put it on speed. So that's what the goaltenders are looking like. That's what the scores are going to be looking like. That's what our playmakers are going to be looking like. Defensemen will probably just get the same upgrades as playmakers since they're not going to be big goal scorers for us. Somebody please take a shot next season. Alright, so all of the playmakers on this team are now 38 overalls. Everyone else is still 36 overall, also known as 0 overall. The defense, we have 139 overall. I actually don't understand that. Okay, apparently we have multiple 39 overalls. Not really too sure how that works. I guess giving passing to an offensive defenseman, I guess that's more valuable than giving passing to a two-way defender, but you know what? We're not going to worry about it. What we're worried about this season, scoring a goal or even taking a shot. It's basically the same difficulty at this point. We scored a goal. We scored a goal in our first game. We finally scored a goal here. It took forever. I don't think I can look at the box score, but Chuck Brown's going to be picking up the goal. A playmaker. A playmaker is scoring our first goal here. At least we know the team's taking shots now. I also can't look at it because you can't look at game logs in season mode, but that doesn't matter. We finally scored a goal. So after scoring a goal in the very first game, I had such high expectations. I was thinking potentially we might be able to average a goal per game. Nope, we actually only picked up 3 goals this season. We picked up a goal in our first game of the season and only 2 more goals after that. So yeah, the team wasn't the most successful in the world. Charlie Brown's going to lead the way. 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. He only took 4 shots. I don't think anyone reached 10 attribute upgrades. I think even if we combine all these stats, it's still not enough for 10. And since the minimum is 10 attribute upgrades for everybody, yeah, every single player here is going to be getting 10 upgrades. And you know what? Because of how this video was started, we're going to up that from 10 as the minimum to 20. 20 is going to be the minimum for every player here, because if we keep it at 10, we're going to have another decade of only scoring like 6 or 7 goals in a season. We need this team to start taking the next step, and they got to start doing it pretty quick here. Eric Hartman, 2,300 saves. Ricky Lafleur, 1,600 saves. So that's going to be 23 upgrade points for Cartman. And as I just mentioned, for players moving forward, the minimum you can get in a season is going to be 20. So Ricky Lafleur, you're actually going to walk away with 20 upgrades here. Because yeah, I can't go through another 8-9 years of this. I need this team to start seeing a little bit of success, even if it's only 10 goals in a season. At this point, I'll take it. Alright, so with everybody getting 20 attribute upgrades, I think for playmakers, considering we've already maxed out passing, it's about time they start shooting the puck. So 10 attribute upgrades are going to wrist shot accuracy, and then another 10 are going to go to wrist shot power here. We're going to get both of those attributes up to a 40, and then hopefully these players can start recording a few more shots. When it comes to the snipers, we're just going to continue to work on the wrist shot power and wrist shot accuracy. So that means wrist shot power is going to be going up to a 79, while wrist shot accuracy is going to be going up to an 80. Meanwhile, for goaltending, when it comes to Eric Cartman, because he's a little bit ahead because he's already got glove low maxed out, I guess we can max out speed next. Actually, I don't know how much speed's really going to be valuable here. I know we've already thrown 3 attribute upgrades to that, but maybe we go for stick high. We'll actually just do stick high and stick low, so we'll get that up to a 46, and then stick low, we'll get that to a 46 as well. So we're finally starting to see a little bit of success, but we got to get at least 10 goals in a season. This team's got to start scoring the puck. So everyone's received their upgrades, and all of our playmakers are now going to be sitting at a 40 overall, so that's actually not too bad. When it comes to our defensemen, since Rigby's the only offensive defenseman, he's going to be a 39 overall compared to everyone else. I guess Kaz Kalinkas is also a 39 overall, but yeah, I have no clue why the playstyle impacts the overall. That just doesn't really make too much sense to me. Ricky Lafleur, Eric Cartman, you're our goaltenders here. Let's record some more stats this season. I want to see at least 10 goals. Okay, we got to figure something out here. The Delaware Dragons, an 0-82 record. We scored 3 goals this season. Therefore, nobody's reaching the minimum upgrade points. We weren't even close for anybody here. So we really have to figure out what is a realistic increase for everybody. What I'm thinking here is every attribute for every player is going up 10 points. We got to get these players somewhat competent. Like Chuck Brown here, our man Charlie Brown, 2 goals. He's the best player on this team, and he picked up 2 goals. So I think what would be fair is every single attribute is going to be getting a plus 10 upgrade. We have to boost every attribute by 10 here because, yeah, we scored 3 goals this season, and through those 3 goals, that only accounted for 6 points. We only had 3 assists. We had 3 goals and 3 assists. So everybody's going to be getting plus 10 to every attribute because these players got to start performing. They're in the absolute trenches. If we're only upgrading based on stats, this video would be 7 hours long. They got to get a massive boost here. Tampa's winning the Stanley Cup. Let's increase everyone's overall by a ton. All right, so after giving everybody a plus 10 boost to all their attributes, I think we finally have a chance here to score some goals. We have some 50 overall players on the team. We got some 49 overall players. We have a handful of 37s. I really don't understand the stat conversions. I have no clue how they figure out overall. Big Les, he has a 46 in every attribute now, 99 offensive awareness, 56 defensive awareness, 90 wrist shot accuracy, and 89 wrist shot power. Yet he's an 87. When we go to a guy like Sassy the Sasquatch, who has pretty similar stats, he's a 51 overall. See, I don't really know how that works. All I know is this team's going to potentially score some goals this season. I can't guarantee it because we're still really bad. Now, we've prayed for times like this. Delaware, 0 wins, but who cares about that? 41 goals this season. We were able to score 41 goals. DVS is going to lead the way, 13 points. Linus is coming in second. He's got 13. Mike Nolan, 10. Sassy, 9 points. The team's scoring goals here, and we're actually taking shots for once. This team's actually going to be receiving a handful of upgrades. When it comes to goaltending, Eric Cartman leads the way with 2,132 saves, so he's going to receive 21 upgrades, while Ricky Lafleur, you're going to be receiving 20 upgrades because that's the bare minimum that you can acquire. Now, after some quick calculation, it appears there's only 2 players that reach the 20-point threshold. That's going to be Mike Nolan, who's going to be receiving 36 upgrades, and Paperboy, also known as Alfred Miles, he's going to be receiving 36 as well. Everybody else was below 20 attribute boosts, so they're just going to be receiving 20. But you know what? It's good to see some players actually recording points here. Players are getting upgrades across the board. It's not going to take too long before every player on this team's a 99 overall. Might be getting a bit too far ahead of myself though. Alright, so we upgraded everyone on the team. You know what? We're not looking too bad here. We have a handful of players that have multiple 99s in attributes. However, I still don't think it's going to be enough here. Mike Nolan, Paperboy, I need both you guys to have big seasons here. We need some massive upgrades from both of you. Because the defense, they can't really do too much. I'm not going to lie. They're kind of liabilities on this team. Meanwhile, goaltending, that's still in a terrible spot, so we can't even gas it up. Alright, we finally got a little bit of momentum going here. The Delaware Dragons, although we lost every game this season, 91 goals. So 91 goals means we scored more goals, therefore more players picked up assists, therefore more players took shots here. Ernest Marks, he's going to be picking up 3 goals, 34 helpers for 37 points as well as 22 shots. But look at Alfred Miles, 153 shots. Mike Nolan, 122 shots. The big time shooters on this team, these guys are going to be receiving a lot of upgrades. And then when it comes to goaltending, Eric Cartman, Ricky Lafleur, I'm not going to lie, I feel like we have to make the minimum upgrade for both you guys 25. Because if we're only giving you 20 upgrades a season, you're never going to progress. So from this terrific season right here, we're going to see a handful of players getting some major upgrades. Alfred Miles, of course, is going to be receiving the most here with 34 goals, 1 assist, and 153 shots. He's going to be receiving 107 upgrade points. Mike Nolan, he had another great season. He's going to be receiving 72. By leading the team in assists, Ern's going to be picking up 45 upgrade points. But the big loser of this season is Trevor Corey. How many points did he receive? 9. Bro got 9 attribute boosts. 9. Yeah, so he's going to be doing nothing the entirety of this video. But we did have some big time performers and they recorded a lot of points this season. They're going to be getting a lot of upgrades. The Vancouver Canucks are winning a Stanley Cup. Let's go improve these guys for next season. Goaltenders are going to be by far the most difficult to upgrade here. But once they start recording wins, each win's going to be worth 3. I'm not going to lie, I might have to change that. We might have to change it to wins being worth 5, overtime losses being worth 2, and then shutouts being worth 15. That's what we're doing from here on out. Wins are worth 5, overtime losses losses or shootout losses are going to be worth 2, and then shutouts are going to be worth 15. And you know what? While we're at it, how about we just make saves worth double? Instead of saves being worth 0.01, they're now worth 0.02. Now, if we make changes like that, that's certainly going to be helping our goaltenders a ton. Now, I just want to apologize to Trevor Corey. I said he was the player that received the lowest amount of upgrades with only 9. That was actually a lie. Kaz Kalinkas only received 6. Bro was doing nothing out there. Okay, now this is a massive season right here. We actually have some really good players on the team in Paperboy, 99 in all of his shooting attributes. That's going to be the same with Mike Nolan. The bottom 6 is certainly looking better here, but when it comes to defense, we actually don't care about this. Defense will get better as time goes on. We really care about goaltending. Goaltending is going to receive a massive upgrade because we've changed what everything is worth. So saves are worth double, wins are worth 5 points, OT losses or shootout losses are worth 3 points, and then shutouts are worth 15. Are either of these goaltenders going to record a shutout? Absolutely not. But from saves alone, they're going to receive way more upgrades. We won a game. Hold on. Wait a minute. We just won a game. We beat the Edmonton Oilers in a shootout, and just a couple days before, we lost to the Ottawa Senators in a shootout. The Delaware Dragons are ready to take over the NHL. This team's going to be dominating in just a couple seasons. Not like we're really winning games here. So you guys already know we won 1 game this season, but we actually did more than just winning 1 game. I want to point out one of the teams we beat was the best in the entire league, but we ended up finishing with 3 wins this season and 3 overtime losses, a 376-3 record, scoring 121 goals, and who scored most of those goals? Paperboy. 35 points equating to 35 goals. Bro only scored goals this season. Sassy's picking up 33 points. Tyrone's picking up 31. Ern's picking up 30. Charlie Brown, he's got 28. The team was locked in this season. They're looking way better than they have in the past. And Paperboy, 208 shots. Mike Nolan, 153. The big time performers are definitely showing up here. And Ricky Lafleur, he's got 2 wins this season. Eric Hartman, only 1. Just want to point out, Ricky Lafleur as the backup won 2 games. He's the starter moving forward now. But I actually shouldn't say that because Eric Hartman, since you played way more games for us, you recorded way more saves, and that's going to equal a lot more upgrades. So Eric Hartman himself is going to be receiving 61 upgrades, while Ricky Lafleur, he's only going to be receiving 35. So after handing out all the upgrades here, Paperboy, of course, is going to be walking away with the most. He's going to receive 102 attribute boosts. That's going to help him a ton. Mike Nolan, he's having a great season. That's going to equate to 84 attribute upgrades. Tyrone's also going to be picking up 40 pluses. He's going to be getting 42. And then Sassy was right outside the 40-point milestone, as he's only going to be picking up 39. But we did have a handful of other guys picking up 40 upgrade points here, so the team's certainly going to be in a way better spot. We were able to win a handful of games this season. With the upgrades across the board for this team, don't be surprised if we're winning 10 plus next season. Now, one thing that we definitely have to manage in this video is allowing some of the lower overall players to play some top 6 minutes. Like if I had Paperboy, Ern, and Darius on the top line every single season, they would all have incredible progression. The guys on the bottom 6, not quite the same. So we're going to have Big Les, Sassy, and Mike Nolan on the top line, and then Darius, Ern, and Paperboy on the second line. When it comes to the defense, Trevor Corey, Trevor, they're going to get some minutes here. Mordecai and Rigby, they're going to be on the second pairing. Meanwhile, Tom and Kaz, they're going to be on the third pairing. When it comes to goaltending, Aaron Cartman and Ricky Lafleur, just keep sharing the net together. Now, this was a special season. Our best by far, the Delaware Dragons, an 11-65-6 record, 193 goals scored, and with 11 wins, that means our goalie is going to be getting a handful of upgrades. Mike Nolan himself, 74 points, 203 shots taken, 41 goals, and 33 helpers. Paperboy, 43 goals, 16 assists, 59 points. He's getting a ton of upgrades here. A lot of players are getting some big time upgrades here. That's going to be helping them a ton. When it comes to goaltending, they're getting a ton of upgrades. Eric Cartman getting a majority of them. Ricky Lafleur, I guess you're taking a back seat here, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. Like, Ricky Lafleur would be too dominant if he was our 99 overall. Like, if we maxed out Ricky Lafleur's stats, he doesn't play like a 99 overall. He plays like a 125 overall player. He's that good. But with this amazing season from Eric Cartman, he walks away with 113 upgrade points, while Ricky Lafleur, he walks away with 28. Yeah, keep doing your best, Ricky. You're the man. Now, if you thought Eric Cartman was getting a lot of upgrades, Mike Nolan himself is walking away with 165, while Paperboy, he had a great season as well, and that's going to equal a lot of upgrade points for him, and that's going to be 154 from him. But on top of both these guys having great seasons, we have a handful of guys getting 60 plus here, a couple guys even getting 80 plus. The only players who basically aren't getting any upgrades here, our defensemen. So yeah, we're gonna have to change that pretty quick. We're gonna have to find a way to get these guys more involved in the offense here. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions, but once we hand out all these upgrades, don't be surprised if we're second last in the entire league. I think this team's gonna see some big changes. Now the plan for this season, get some of these low overall players to develop a little bit. We've thrown the best players on the bottom six, therefore the lower overall players are gonna have to produce, considering they're gonna be getting so many minutes here. When it comes to the defense, we're just gonna see what happens here. The defensive overalls confuse me so much. Like Trevor Corey here, there is no way he's still a 36 overall. Like he has decent enough numbers where he shouldn't be a 36 overall. When it comes to goaltending, Eric Hartman's still the starting goaltender. We need to have a big season here. We've gone through a lot of rough years. Like the first 5 years, I don't even recall if we took a shot within those first 5 years. But here we are finally winning games here. I'm looking at 15 wins. At one point, we couldn't even take 15 shots in a season. Now I'm talking about 15 wins. Things have certainly changed. Now this is incredibly wishful thinking, but maybe, just maybe, this team can make the playoffs next season. I think we could sneak into the wild card. A 22-54-6 record. We scored over 3 goals per game, so that means there's going to be a ton of upgrades. We won a ton of games. That's going to be even more upgrades. This team's going to be looking way better. Like, look at all the players that performed this season. Mike Nolan, 86 points, including 42 goals. Earns picking up 67. Paperboy's got 66, including 41 goals. Tyrone, Sassy, Chuck Brown, DVS, everyone was great. Everyone's taking a lot of shots here. And then when it comes to goaltending, Eric Cartman's going to be seeing some huge upgrades. Like, bro picked up 1 shutout this season. That's 15 points alone. Yeah, Ricky Lafleur, unfortunately, you're going to have to be the backup here. But Eric Cartman's turned into a superstar. So with all those wins right there, Eric Cartman's going to be receiving 166 attribute upgrades. That's going to be massive. Ricky Lafleur is getting 39. He did what he could. Now, when it comes to the forwards and defensemen here, I think the average upgrade for forwards at this point is like 80 attribute points. So 80 attribute points are going to be going to all of our forwards. And then when it comes to defensemen, the average is probably sitting around 30 to 40, somewhere in that range. So defensemen aren't getting quite as many attribute upgrades, but considering we're going to be scoring a lot of goals moving forward, we might not have to have good defense. As long as we can outscore our problems, we might actually be in a pretty solid spot here. The Delaware Dragons just a couple seasons away from winning a Stanley Cup. Carolina's going to be taking home the cup this season, but it's going to be Delaware sooner than later. Alright, now I really don't think we can make the playoffs considering we have a 43 overall on our second line. However, this isn't your regular 43 overall. Big Les knows how to shoot the puck. 99 in all of his shooting attributes. I'm very confused on some of the overalls here. Like J-Rock, I have no clue how you're a 41 overall. Maxed out shooting. Some of the other stats aren't looking that bad, so I don't really know how you're a 41 overall. When it comes to the defense, I don't know how we have a couple 60 overalls here and then a 36 overall. Like Trevor Corey has gotten the same upgrades as everyone else, but he just hasn't progressed. I don't know why. But you know what? We have 2 great goaltenders, Ricky Lafleur, Eric Cartman. Eric Cartman's been an absolute superstar. Can this team sneak into a wild card spot? I think that's wishful thinking. I really don't think we're going to be able to compete for a wild card spot, but crazier things have happened. Now I had wishful thinking, hoping this team would somehow sneak into the wild card, and maybe it actually wasn't that wishful thinking. A 39-39-4 record, like we actually weren't that far off of making the wild card. So the boys will probably make the postseason next season. They're going to look to win a Stanley Cup, even though we still have 40 overalls on this team. We have the best team of all time, even though we have this many 40 overalls. Mike Nolan, he's picking up 49 goals. Paperboy's picking up 49. Earns picking up 22. Big Les 32 goals. Like, these guys are performing. We have a lot of guys picking up big time goals, a lot of guys taking some shots, and then when it comes to goaltending, yeah, it's going to be an incredible spot. Eric Cartman, 2 shutouts, that's 30 points right there. Then he picked up 25 wins. That's a lot of upgrades. Then he picked up a handful of upgrades from saves. Yeah, Ricky Lafleur and him are the 2 stars on this team right now. So with all the upgrades Eric Cartman got, he's going to be able to max out 3 attributes and a little bit more because he's receiving 203 upgrades, while Ricky Lafleur, his best season yet, and that's going to give him 92 attribute upgrades. Now this is going to be massive. All of our forwards are receiving 100 plus upgrades. All of our defensemen, give or take 40, but the big time performers such as Paperboy, such as Mike Nolan, Paperboy's walking away with 197, Mike Nolan's walking away with 187. Those 2 guys are probably going to reach a 99 overall, and then with everyone else improving on the team, there's no reason this team's not making the postseason. We're going to make the postseason next season, and we're going to get ourselves a Stanley Cup. Colorado might be winning winning this season, but they won't be winning next season because the Delaware Dragons are going to take over. Alright, so I do think there is a chance we make the postseason. Paperboy's going to carry the weight at 96 overall. Mike Nolan's going to hold it down the second line. He's 92 overall. The bottom six isn't great here, but I think we have good enough players that we can sneak into the playoffs. The defense is still really bad. However, when it comes to goaltending, Eric Cartman is now up to an 82 overall. An 82 overall can certainly get us into the postseason, and we can certainly win with an 82 overall. So as long as we can get into the playoffs, we have a chance. Yeah, so about being a fringe wildcard team. We were first in the entire league and won 56 games. I have no clue how we just did that. Paperboy led the way with 97 points, including 67 goals. Mike Nolan, 92 points. Tyrone, 82 points. How in the world did we just do this? We have so many low overall players on this team. Eric Hartman didn't even have superb numbers. He had a 916 to 326. We're not going to worry about calculating how many upgrades these players are getting, because we might win a Stanley Cup. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. The Dragons are really about to do the impossible. No, like I really can't comprehend what's going on here. There is no way the Dragons should be able to compete with anyone right now. And we're about to take down the Toronto Maple Leafs. Granted, we're taking them on the first round. This really shouldn't be that difficult. We lost game number 5, 7-2. We better not lose back-to-back games. All right. The defense is completely folding. Like, I know the defense isn't great on this team, but we have amazing goal scoring. And if we don't wake up in the third period, we're going to be eliminated here, but we're waking up. Austin Matthews has a hat trick right now. We scored with 1 second left, and because of that goal with 1 second left, we're winning this game. Toronto had this comeback in the bag. Matthews had a hat trick. This game was over, but we scored with 1 second left. We're off to the second round. No, we need to win a Stanley Cup now. We have to win a Stanley Cup. We can't fold. No, like real talk, how did we do that? With 1 second left in the game, we tied it up and then scored the overtime winner. If I was a Toronto fan, I would no longer be a Toronto fan because of that game right there. Like, imagine not playing defense for that 1 additional second and then you lose in game 7. You could have won, but you ended up losing because you didn't play defense. We're going to take down the Rangers as long as we don't blow this series. We're moved on to the conference finals. The Delaware Dragons actually might win a Stanley Cup here. I don't want to look at the bracket anymore. We're taking on the Washington Capitals. If we get past Washington, we're in the Stanley Cup final. We're winning game 1. We just swept the Capitals. We're in the Stanley Cup final. Delaware, I need you to close it out. We have our toughest task so far, the Colorado Avalanche. 4 wins gets this team a Stanley Cup right here, and we are 1 win away. The Dragons are about to do it, and they've done it. They've won a Stanley Cup. We started off with a team of only 0 overall players, and for every point they recorded, on top of a bunch of extra rules, because if not, it wouldn't have been possible, we won a Stanley Cup. Mike Nolan, 15 goals, 11 assists for 26 points. J-Rock, 24 points. Big Les, 22. DVS, 22. Paperboy, 17 goals, 21 points. Look at all the point-of-game scorers. Nah, the boys really showed up when it mattered most. Eric Cartman, 16 wins, 2 shouts, a 925, and a goals against of exactly 3. We just outscored our problems. This was the first time this team has made the postseason, and in our first postseason appearance, we did it. J-Rock is a 45 overall, and he picked up 24 points. Big Les, you are a 64 overall, 22 points. Sassy's only a 74. He showed up in the big time games. Nah, this makes no sense. I don't know how we just did that. We did the impossible. The boys really showed up. If you made to the end of the video, comment any of these legends right here. I don't care who you comment. It can be Paperboy, it can be Tyrone, it can be Sassy, DVS, Big Les, J-Rock. No matter who you comment here, even Ricky Lafleur, even though he didn't jump to any postseason games, you can comment Ricky Lafleur. We really did the impossible here. This team just won a Stanley Cup.